All right, let's jump right into a topic that is, well, it's pretty mind-bending. We're going to explore a theory that doesn't just question a few things about our world, it questions the very foundation of reality itself. We're talking about the collective dream state.
So, I want you to start with this one question. Just look around you for a second. The room you're in, the device you're watching this on, even your own hands. What if none of it is really real in the way we think it is? What if it's all just a massive, shared dream that we're all experiencing together?
Okay, that's a huge idea to just throw out there, right? A shared dream? So let's break it down and start with the basics. According to this theory, what exactly is a shared, simulated dream?
So, this whole idea has a name, the collective dream state, or CDS for short. And here's the core of it. Our physical bodies, they aren't actually out there walking around. Instead, they're being preserved somewhere, maybe in some kind of high-tech stasis. And our minds, our consciousness, are all plugged into one single giant virtual world, a world that feels completely and totally real to us.
Okay, but how would that even be possible? The theory basically lays out a four-step setup. First, you've got our bodies, safe in these stasis chambers. Second, our brains are hooked up to a central computer. Third, all of our minds get linked up inside this one shared virtual reality. But it's that last step that's the real kicker. Every single thing you feel, see, or hear, it isn't real. It's just an electrical signal that the computer sends to your brain, telling it what to experience.
But the biggest question is, why? Why would anyone build a system this complex? The reason, the theory suggests, is pretty staggering. It's about evolution, but not of our bodies. It's about the evolution of consciousness. By living through basically infinite simulated realities, an entire civilization could learn, grow, and upgrade its collective intelligence faster than we can even imagine. Now I know, this sounds like something straight out of science fiction, and yeah, it is a wild theory. But the people who subscribe to this idea believe there are clues all around us, hidden in the fabric of the universe. And strangely, these clues are total opposites. On one hand, we see glitches, and on the other, this almost perfect grand design.
So let's unpack that because it's a little weird. First, you have the glitches. You know what I'm talking about, right? Those moments of super intense déjà vu, bizarre coincidences that make no sense, or just the general weirdness of quantum physics. Believers see these as little cracks in the simulation's code. But then you have the exact opposite. The universe just seems too perfect. The laws of physics are so precisely tuned to allow for life that it feels less like a random accident and more like it was designed that way.
And this feeling, this sense that there's an intelligent design under the surface is a really powerful part of the theory. The source material actually has this amazing line that captures it perfectly, describing our universe as feeling as if created by hyperquantum chips. I mean, that phrase really makes you think about a reality built with purpose, using some unbelievable computing power.
So, if we follow this line of thinking, that a central computer is running our reality, what does that mean for us, for our minds? It suggests that maybe our consciousness isn't as individual as we think it is. It leads to this incredible idea of an internet of minds.
Think about it for a second. If every single mind is plugged into the same system, the very idea of a separate, private consciousness starts to fall apart. Your thoughts, my thoughts, everybody's thoughts, we'd all just be nodes on one massive interconnected network. Can you even imagine what that would be like? We wouldn't just be billions of separate people. All of our minds could work together as one big collective. If you needed to know something, you'd just access it, like downloading a file directly from our shared consciousness. And every single person's experience would feed back into the whole, letting the collective learn and evolve at a crazy speed.
Okay, I know, this all still feels like very distant, very abstract sci-fi. So let's pull it back down to earth for a minute. Let's change the question. Instead of asking if we are in a simulation, let's ask, is this a future we might actually choose to build for ourselves one day?
And really, that's the big question this theory forces us to confront. Forget about whether it's already happened. If we had the technology right now to create a perfect shared virtual reality, would we plug in? Should we?
Of course, we're not there yet, not even close. Let's be real. On one side, you've got our current tech. Our best VR is cool, but it can't perfectly trick all 5 of your senses. And interfacing directly with the brain is still super primitive and, risky. But then you have the CDS ideal from the theory, a flawless simulation with a connection that's totally safe and seamless. We've got a long, long way to go.
But all of this brings us to the final and maybe the most powerful idea from the source material.
This is where the theory really, truly challenges how we think about what it means to exist.
I want you to really consider this quote from the source. Reality doesn't reveal one true state. It adjusts to the individual's capabilities. Let that sink in. This isn't just saying reality is a simulation. It's saying reality isn't a fixed, objective thing we all share. It's a fluid, personal experience that literally adapts itself to each and every one of us.
The theory uses an analogy from quantum physics to try and explain this. You know how a particle can exist in multiple states at once, but it only collapses into one definite state when we observe it? Well, what if reality itself works that way? What if it holds all these unlimited possibilities, and the version that becomes real for you is determined simply by your ability to perceive it? Which, of course, leaves us with one last massive question to chew on. If reality isn't something that just happens to you, but is a system that is actively adapting for you, then what kind of reality is your perception creating? Right here, right now.